So now I'm just going to start with one most important lesson. To start with stacking, we just have to be prepared, and this is nothing but preparing for stacking lesson. Now I'm just going to keep this as a common lesson, and we're just going to use it in all the places where you will be doing stacked cakes in this course and in the future as well. So I don't have any cakes at the moment here because I'm just going to do some measurements and then tell you what are the pre-preps that you need to do and then keep it ready. Now I have three boards, each in three different sizes. So basically when you're going to stack, now we will be doing the cakes in the size difference could be 2 inches apart, then you will have an ideal stacked structure basically. So if you have an 8 inch, then you do a 6 on top of it and then a 4 on top of it. And below the 8, if in case you have to go for a 4-tiered cake, then the bottommost could be a 10-inch cake, and then it goes like that. You could also do it in odd numbers, and that way it will be a 9-inch, 7-inch and a 5-inch and then a 3-inch. That's like an extremely smaller cake. But then it's always nice to have 2 inches apart. Now I have here 8-inch, 6-inch and a 4-inch boards. Now I should have made the cakes in these sizes. Now obviously in all the cakes that we are doing the sharp edges, we are using the acrylic boards, right? Now in most of the cases you're also doing board to board method, so there's one board on top. For all the cakes we remove the top board and then we remove the cling wrap and we finish the sharp edges, right? So that one top board is always with us, and these are the top boards that we used for the respective cakes that we did the sharp edges. So I have them with me, and all the three sizes. Now if this is for a 3-tiered cake, I'm just going to show what are the measurements we are going to do, and if that is a 2-tiered cake, and then I will be using only these two to do the measurements, and if it is a 2-tiered cake with a 6-inch and a 4-inch, then I'm just going to use these two to do the measurements. So right now I'm just going to work on for a 3-tier cake, so you just have the maximum understanding in case you'll be able to put it together if you're going to do a 2-tier stacking as well. So an 8, 6 and a 4. So let me just start with an 8-inch cake. So on the bottom tier we are going to dowel. So to dowel on the bottom tier, we just need the bottom tier's size and a paper, butter paper that is cut to the size of the bottom tier. Okay, so that will be this one. I'm just going to cut this. So I have the butter paper cut. Okay, now we just want to be sure the center. So while you're marking the outline itself, you could do this, and obviously you'll be able to do with the board with a hole in the center. If not, you just need to use a scale and then find out the center. So mark the point where say suppose now this is a 21, then obviously a 10.5, you just go through the middle and then again just check on the other side. If it is on the 10.5 on the same line, then that will be the center. But if the board itself has a hole, then that will be good. Now on top of this 8-inch cake, a 6-inch is going to come and sit, right? So we're just going to pick up that size of the board of the size of the cake that will sit on top of the 8-inch cake. Now I'm just going to align the center and then draw an outline. Now aligning the center here is important. Okay, so now this will be the outline for the tier on top that will come and sit. Okay, now let's get into marking the dowels. Now the dowels have to be within this outline because it has to be within the cake that will sit on top, because the dowels have to protect this particular layer that is sitting on top. So the dowels should be 1 inch level inside this particular outline that you have made. Now use the scale and use the inches side of the scale to pass through the center dot and then mark a 1 inch. And here again, just starting from 7, so I'll just have 1 inch exactly. Then do the right opposite. So this is the 2 dots, so I'll just do right opposite, passing the scale through the inches side and then find 1 inch inside. Now I'll do this to 8 sides. I mean the four. So this is the first one and this is the second side, and I just want to do one which is in between these two as well. So you will have 8 dots marked. One inch inside. Okay, so have 8 dots here marked. Now what I will do, I will just use the pencil and connect the dots with my pencil and make another circle using the 8 dots. Okay, so now this is the circle into which the dowels will be placed. We'll have to, now we know the line in which the circle in which the dowels are going to be inserted, and now how much apart the dowels can be. So this difference is 1 inch. Okay, it is 1 inch. Now the dowels, how far they can be apart, that is 2 inch. Okay, so these are the two numbers that you need to just keep in mind. So we just start with the first dowel marking and just make a circle around it, which is exactly on that line. Okay, so from that first dowel marking, use the scale and from the inches side, start with the starting point of the scale, the 0 marking, and then just adjust the scale and then get the 2 inches on the edge of the circle. So 2 inches matches here. So now if your scale was somewhere like that, then obviously you can't find where the 2 inches falls on the line. Your scale can't be somewhere like this also. So start this point here at the dot and then move the scale so your 2 inch meets the circle, and that will be your second dowel marking. Then do the same thing again. Start the scale and then 2 inches on the circle line and repeat that. Now I'm just going to find the 2 inches from the last one. But then if this 2 inches that is here, if it is not giving me 2 inches between that last and the first, okay, so this is the first one and this is the last but one, right? So the last one I'm going to mark. Now if I'm marking 2 inches which is here, then this is too close to the first one. So that way what I will do, I will find the in between position between the last but one and the first one, and that will be my double marking for last. But then there are times when your last will be exactly in the middle, and then you will have equi-space between the last but one and the last, and then the last one and the first one. In that case, you just have to go by the measurements. And as you measure, you find the last one too close to the first dowel, then you find eyeball to find one in between the first and the last but one, and so this is your last. So that is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So how many number of dowels do one need? It depends on this diagram, and you cannot eyeball and tell, oh maybe I need 4 dowels, oh this cake is small so maybe I'll just stop with 4. You don't have to do, you should not do, according to me, eyeballing and making your own, counting your own dowels for the cake. Okay, so now this will be the paper that I will use to go on the 8-inch cake. So I have the marking done here. Now on top of this, the 6-inch cake is going to come and sit, right? So now on top of a 6-inch cake, if I have a third tier, say a 4-inch, then I'll do the exactly same diagram. I'll just come back after doing the paper cutting, and then I'm just going to mark the dowel points for the 6-inch cake, where a 4-inch cake will come and sit on top of that. So I'm just going to keep 1 inch from the circle, which is, this circle is 4 inches. All 4 sides I need to do, and have 8 dots, so I could just join them and then make a circle. So here's like, I've just given like a bigger difference. I'm just going to put one more dot here, so I'll be able to connect and make a proper circle. So these many dots are needed, so you could just join them and then have a good circle. Otherwise it's just going to be, the shape itself is just not going to be circle, then your dowel points will be here and there. Okay, so just start with 1 dowel marking, and if your topmost cake is 4 inches or 3 inches, then the difference between the dowels will be 1.5 inches. So anything that is less, even if the topmost is 5 inches, just stick to the difference distance between the 2 dowels as 2 inches. And if the topmost is 4 inches diameter cake, the distance between your dowels will be 1.5 inches. So like how I did the 2 inches apart, I'm just going to find 1.5 inches apart. Now let me check. Now this is my last, right? Now this last one is closer to the first one, so I will find eyeball one in between the first and the last bit one, and that will be my last. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I need 5 dowels there. So obviously this distance is 1 inch without any change. This distance is 1.5 inches for a 4-inch diameter that will sit on top of this. That will sit on top of this. That is what is important. We are not concerned about the 6-inch, the bigger paper. The paper size is 6-inch. This is for the marking, for the dowels that we are going to insert on a 6-inch cake. But a 4-inch is going to come on top of that, and that is why we have the distance as 1.5 inches. Now, I have the paper cutting for the 8-inch and the 6-inch. So for a 3-tier cake, we will be adding the dowels for 2 cakes, which is the bottommost, the 8-inch, and then on the 6-inch, and then the topmost will come. And you don't have to add any dowels on the topmost, but there will be a center dowel that will be measured to the height. All the tiers will be measured, and you sum the height of each of the tiers, and then you subtract 1 inch from the entire height of all the tiers. And after subtracting 1 inch, and then you cut one center dowel, and that we'll do in the stacking lessons, and that will be the dowel that will pass through all the 3 cakes. Now, before you get into the lessons where stacking the cake is going to be involved, I want you guys to prepare this paper with the pencil marking of the dowels, and you will be using this on the cake, where we're just going to measure. The measurement is done. We're just going to use this to transfer the dowel marking on the cake, and then we will proceed to cutting the dowels to the height of the cake and then actually stacking it. So I'll see you on the lesson where we're actually stacking the cakes.